Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Today y Mañana. I'm Alex. This is Xavier. We're very excited to have you joining us this morning on a little bit of a chilly morning here in Charlottesville, but definitely a spring morning.
Oh, beautiful spring
here
morning,
in Charlottesville, Virginia. So we are very excited for today's show. We're going to be joined shortly in the show by Ewa Harr and Maria Vitale from I Art Park, and then later on our friend Matthias from Matthias Realty. So it's going to be a great show that we have lined up for you this morning. How you doing this morning?
Well, I'm doing great. I'm doing fantastic.
Glad to be
as you know,
with you.
I mean, it's I love life, right? I mean, it's all about enjoying oneself. Sometimes I know we work hard, but life is great. So I'm here ready.
Exactly.
There's just so much going on. Like I was saying before, there's so much going on in Charlottesville. It's incredible. Every time I open up, the newspaper or the Charlottesville Weekly, whatever it may be, it's like one thing after another. It's like you feel like going to the mall, but physically you can't do the mall, right?
Exactly, but it's good. They want to be outdoors. You got the enjoyable things. There's a lot of festivals and stuff. We'll be talking about some of them today. For sure, of course, love being here on the I Love CVille Network.
And don't forget to like and share and subscribe.
And subscribe. Well done. Send us any comments, questions. Done. So we got a lot to look forward here. One of the things we love getting up on Thursdays and coming to do Today Mañana on the I Love CVille Network. Of course,
we don't need any cafe. We don't need café con leche on Thursday morning.
This is our café con leche. This is our sugar in our veins. That's really getting us ready to go. Of course, we always appreciate our presenter, Emergent Financial Services, as well as our partners, Castle Hill Cider, Charlottesville Opera, Craddock Serious Insurance, Matthias Realty, and Forward Adelante, the premier Latino networking group here in Charlottesville, Virginia. We got so many things to look forward to this year. I know Castle Hill Cider, the 231 Fest on June 10th.
Okay.
Coming up, that was a huge festival last year, so there's so much going on there. Of course, Guys and Dolls from Charlottesville Opera coming up June 23rd, 24th, and 25th.
Every time you say that, I think of Marlon Brando.
I know. Well, he was in the movie version.
Yeah, but this is much better. Trust me.
Yeah, exactly. So he was in the. This is better. I would imagine. I can pretty much guarantee you. I know this is a dangerous word in the financial business, but in opera business, I can pretty much
guaranteeing returns. I think it's just.
I know. I can pretty much guarantee you that they will sing better than Marlon Brando. So
listen, I think I can sing better. Maybe.
Probably. So they are going to be fantastic. And then Tosca on July 14th and 16th coming up. So
that's so
much.
Opera.
You can get your tickets already from Charlottesville Opera. Be sure to check that out. And of course, last week we had on Oratorio Society.
That's right.
Tonight is the close. So tonight is your last chance to buy tickets online.
Okay.
So that tomorrow evening, 2 amazing choral masses performed by Oratorio Society of Virginia at St. Thomas Aquinas Church, right down the road from where we work. Very easy to get to. And so that's going to be tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Today's your last chance to get tickets online. So you can go to Oratorio Society of Virginia, get those tickets before they are all gone. Because if you wait till will call, if last year's beautiful performance of All Night Vigil is any indication, which I think it is, if you wait till will call, you risk not getting tickets. So I would suggest you go ahead and get your tickets online bright and early. So be sure to do that. So we got a lot to look forward to. Like I said, we're going to be joined later on in the show by Matthias from Matthias Realty, but we are excited now to jump right into it and welcome Ewa Harr and Maria Vitale from I Art Park. Ewa, Maria, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Good morning, ladies.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you so much for having us.
We're very excited to have you both on. So for those who aren't familiar with you, I know, Ewa, you've been on before, but this is for those who didn't see you last time. Tell us a little bit about yourselves and how you first got connected to I Art Park.
Sure. Well, I'm currently the event planner for I Art Park. I've been involved with I for a number of years in various ways. But, we're coming into this year so excited about the events that we have coming up and excited to talk about them with you today.
For me, I would say that I've been with IX for a little bit over a year and a half. I'm the marketing director. I kind of stumbled upon IX and felt that it was a place that I saw a future for myself at, and I kind of just reached out, and it one thing turned into another, and now I'm here.
That's fantastic. That's awesome.
Am I right? IX is a nonprofit. Is that correct?
Yes, we are a 501c3.
Okay, which is very important. I mean, you do great work.
And that hasn't always been the case. It became a nonprofit foundation in 2019.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So really just to kind of embrace the fact that, I mean, it provides just so many amazing things and opportunities to just go into the middle of Charlottesville. I know I went there maybe a month or so ago, and I mean, it was just the farmer's market that's there, packed. It was a beautiful day, so many people there just enjoying the space and the opportunities there and the things that you can see and the businesses you can visit. It's just really a wonderful spot right there.
No, it really is.
In the middle of Charlottesville.
Absolutely. Smack in the middle. It's easy to get to. Yeah, it's a great spot.
Absolutely. So what are some upcoming things people, because I know event coordinating wise, there's so many things that go on at IX. What are some upcoming things people should be looking out for and circling on their calendars?
Well, a lot of things happen at IX. As you know, there's something happening there almost every weekend. There's a variety of events that happen that are, other people coming in and throwing events at IX. And then there are the events that we put on as the IX Art Park Foundation. There are signature events, and we have 5 of those a year. They're the Charlottesville Arts Festival, which is coming up at the end of May. Okay. There's the Fae Festival, which is in June. The Soul of CVille, which is in August. Fantasy Festival, which is at the end of October. And then we have a new festival that's going to be the Tattoo and Vinyl Festival coming in November.
Oh, this is kind of breaking news. No one really knows yet. You're the first. You're hearing it first.
Drum roll.
Nice. Very nice. So we're happy. That's what we are, right? We're just breaking news. We'll have to get Judy to get that thing, when on the news, it goes bing on the screen, breaking news. So tell us, so the first one coming up, Charlottesville Arts Festival, tell us a little bit about that, what that's like, what people can look forward to.
Sure, absolutely. This will be our 3rd year doing the Charlottesville Arts Festival. It started out as Metamorphics a few years ago. It brings over 50 fine artists to the park, as well as live music and performance art. The goal this year is for the art to be really interactive, for the artists to be showing how they do their work and inviting patrons to participate in the art making process, so that it's just going to be a really fun and creative experience for everyone.
So all different types of artwork, right? Yes. Not just painting, but basically it could be ceramics or
it's all making. Over the board. We have a panel, so we've been going through all the applications, making sure that all the vendors are diverse, also making sure that when you're walking through with the mapping that you're not seeing candle after candle or painting after painting, etc.
Yep. So there's photography, there's painting, there's ceramics, fiber arts. Kind of all the different fine arts that you can.
Yeah. Something for
and I love the idea of being able to see the artist at work.
Yeah.
Just sometimes if you don't. Sometimes if you go into a gallery or something, you might just see the finished product. So you're like, okay, this is what it looks like at the end. But to see them have little demonstrations or an example of how they work must be really interesting to sort of plan and figure out how you're going to fit that into the space.
Well, I think it's going to be wonderful. A lot of people don't really imagine what the process is of making some of that artwork. So to be able to see it happen before your eyes is what's wonderful. And a lot of our artists are also doing workshops so that people will be able to make art themselves.
Gotcha.
So,
that's right.
That'll be lots of fun.
Good idea.
Yeah, it definitely will show to patrons the value of what they're actually looking at in the final product. And then also too, one of the biggest things about IX, whether you're going through the looking glass, immersive art experience, or if you're hanging out in the park watercolor painting, etc., one of the things that we want for people is to feel inspired when they leave. So maybe...
that's really our mission, right? Is
they
to
go
spark
home and craft.
Creativity in people's everyday lives, and to give people the opportunity to be able to create art every day.
Exactly.
Yeah. Love it. And, people already watching the show this morning. We got Elizabeth Urpí liking the show this morning. Johnny Ornella, Samito del Programa liking the show this morning. Monica Miller from Montana liking the show this morning. So you guys are international or transnational across the country. Transnational this morning. We can be international too. We have definitely had some international viewers as well. So that's going to be, I think, Arts Festival May 27th and 28th. So definitely circle that on your calendars. And then tell us about the FAE Festival, F-A-E, I think it's spelled.
F-A-E,
I'm curious to learn a little bit more about what that is.
You're in for a treat.
Like fae, like fairies,
F-A-E.
like magic.
Yes.
Exactly.
So we started this festival last year. It is an urban Renaissance festival.
Oh, that's nice.
And it was just so incredibly fun to do. We're really excited about doing it again this year. And this one welcomes over 60 vendors that have all kinds of kind of magical and mystical and just extraordinary goods that they create. Everything is handmade.
Everything.
Everything.
We have the people come in and they have wands. You can buy your stones, what is it, herb sachets.
Yep.
I'm trying to think. Someone had leather shoes.
There's a lot of cosplay at this one. A lot of people come dressed up and amazing.
Oh, so this is that's great for families too.
It is great for families. We have a lot of performers. We have roving performers. We have the Richmond Ferry Federation come in. The Bad Hat Fire Troop. I mean, it is just a celebration and a medieval market, I guess is what we call it.
Yeah.
So
those were a lot of fun. I think we went to one
way
years
back.
and years. I don't remember where we were
I
living.
was really small. We
Exactly.
had one of my favorites. Remember the Renaissance Fair?
Yeah.
Used to come in California.
Yeah.
So if you didn't make it last year, you really have to come this year because it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to kind of experience that in Charlottesville.
Absolutely.
And being dressed up is so encouraged. I can't tell you how many elves, witches, warlocks I saw.
Ogre?
Yeah, we had an ogre.
Oh.
What was the other one? I can't
Fairy
think of it.
Antoinette. Was
Yeah,
one.
there was one
some very fancy
particular
costumes.
character I took in the gnome house to take pictures of because I was like, we have to have this for next
Yeah.
year. And I can't put a finger on what the name was. It was like a cow head.
Oh, it was a centaur.
Yes. Okay. I was gonna say centaur, and then I was like, I don't know. I don't want to say it and be wrong. But yeah, no. People really show up and show out. It's amazing. I think I was an elf one day, and then one day I was a witch.
Yep.
But
We had live combat. We had knights fighting.
that's
all different kinds of performances. So it's just a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
Those are great. That's what I mean. This is the kind of thing that families love to bring their kids.
Yeah.
And kids just.
I
I remember you guys.
I would have
just
lost
loved
it as a little boy. I would have been my element.
Yeah.
Right there.
You still are. What are you talking about?
I still am. It's true.
I'd never seen the child leave you yet.
Come for your inner child.
Bring it out again.
Highly encouraged.
Absolutely. Jess Walser-Sifitsari from Painted Orange says she can't wait for Fae Fest.
Yes,
So
the Painted Orange was a part of it last year, and we're excited to have them back for sure.
Awesome. So we're all same here, Jess. All of us. Lucrecia Morales watching the show this morning. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So when is that? When do people need to mark that one on there?
Yeah, so it's June 10th and 11th.
June 10th and 11th.
Yep. So even if people are attending the other event you mentioned on June 10th, they can still come see us on June 11th.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
Just pack the weekend.
That's right.
Just do it all.
Friends.
Do it all.
One on the 10th, one on the 11th, one in the morning, one in the afternoon. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, you got things to do, booked and busy.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
You got all day.
Exactly. So I'm curious what the origin of the Fae Fest was. Like, how did you first think, let's go ahead and do this?
Well, I think like all things, at IX, it started with a team of very creative people that said, what magic can we bring to IX Art Park and to Charlottesville? And when we started talking about it, it just seemed like a natural thing for us to bring to the park and welcome people to.
That's what you need. Yeah.
That's what you need. Absolutely. Will there be? I just showed that some food trucks, and you've got some local people that are there already.
There, yeah.
We do, and I brought my little list because I wanted to mention the people that will be performing, and that one in particular, because we'll have Vicki Lee, who's an amazing harpist. We'll have the Blue Ridge Irish Music School. Matthew O'Donnell, who I think you guys probably know well.
I've heard him at the Whiskey Jar.
Yes, Irish folk songs
melodies.
for sure. The Dreamtime Project. And Cinematech, which is an awesome surf rock band that'll get everyone dancing.
That's going to be a blast. Yep. Oh man, the music, the food, the atmosphere is going to be just tremendous.
These performers are at different times. Will there be a schedule?
There is a schedule, yes. We actually, at this one, we have two stages. We have the main stage, and then we have a smaller stage where Thunder and Spice perform, and they're a really fun Renaissance couple that perform kind of medieval songs and performances.
Oh, wow.
They were great last year.
Oh, that's neat. This is nothing like it. It adds so much variety and something that you can only see really there. They're not easy to find. It's not like there's a bunch of Renaissance festivals all over the place.
Isn't there just one that travels?
No, there's a lot. There is one close to Lake Anna, and then the big one's in Maryland. And if anyone has a chance to go to that one, it's amazing.
But now you can go to this one right here.
Yes.
Right here,
Yes.
local.
In Charlottesville. You don't even have to drive that far. Julie Knotts Finchman watching the show this morning. So what are some things, I wanted to ask you both, what are some things that you both love about IX that maybe not everyone knows about, if this is kind of their first time being introduced to it, or if they've only passed by?
I would say one of the things I hold closest to my heart is what we do in the community. So we're about to start doing our summer camps. We give out about 25 scholarships for that to make it accessible. Our summer camps include stop-mo animation, creature building, and arts and nature. Eva runs that. So there's that. We also are looking to put on Ixflix again this year. That's like kind of in the works right now, but it was really great last year to blow up a big screen and like watch families lay out a picnic, go grab some pizza and so on, and have like a moment together, because I know that like that's something that kids will cherish forever. Like, oh, I remember doing that when, you know. But other than that, I would say that our Arts from Underground is another moment for me that's great. It's on Thursdays. We open the Looking Glass and we allow karaoke and stuff. So we'll get like a different group of people every time. It's usually people 18 to like honestly 50 that come through and paint and sing. And it's just a great moment to watch people like being together, making art together, and that's what kind of we're all about, empowering community through creativity and giving the resources to do that. Our outside art room's another one too that I frequently have moments at, because I'll be working outside on my computer and then I look over and these kids are painting with their parents and they're like, Mom, look at this. Or sometimes they'll even give one to me or give one to our programs director. And it's just great. It's great. It's great to see people activated. It warms my heart. And I think we all like contribute to that purpose.
Absolutely. And what beautiful to see, like in an age of so many screens and things, kids being outside, painting, using their hands, using their, you know, their fingers, using tools.
Being creative,
being
right?
creative,
just letting it flow out of them, you know?
Well, they come out with so many more studies that sometimes when the mind, like just how much your brain grows and expands when you're doing something creative. When in other words, you haven't been like, you're not looking at something which is entertaining you, but your brain has to kind of entertain itself. It just takes leaps and bounds. And just that creativity and the fact that you're fostering it there at It's Art Park among, like you said, every generation from little kids to 50 plus.
Absolutely.
You know, you need to go there. So you need to be allowed to.
Yeah, I'm sure you can imagine. For me, like being the marketing director, when I'm advertising or when I'm like strategizing, I'm like, we cover all the demographics. We have something for everybody, and I think that makes us a really great community hub.
Absolutely, absolutely. How about yourself, Eva?
Oh, I mean, just to piggyback, you know, on what Maria said, I think community is very important to IX. Having that kind of central location in Charlottesville where we can create a space for people to come together, to be creative together, to create art together, and to just kind of celebrate. You know, you were saying you love life earlier. That's really what the feeling is there, you know, and we celebrate it through art. We celebrate it through, you know, bringing as many opportunities as we can to the community and kind of nurturing the sense of awe, you know, especially when you see children come to the park or come to the Looking Glass and their eyes light up.
That's
and it's
right.
just, you know, this amazing experience that stays with them.
You know what's beautiful also is like you go to these events, right? And you say, okay, I'm just going to go. And then you get there and then you see people you already know, right? So it's like you don't just have to call and say, hey, you want to get together? You go there and before you know it, like you see 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 people that you know and you talk to them, you meet them, you see somebody else. And there's the community. It keeps growing and growing because as you meet them, you might meet their friends. And then so, you know, this community, this is a beautiful city, but it's not huge. It's not like New York City. So when you go there, there's a good chance you're going to see somebody you know, right? I mean, you go to New York City, chances are you see somebody you know. pretty small, right? But that's the beauty of it, because you reconnect with people, right? And that's wonderful.
And through them, make
in a fun
new
way
friends.
too.
Yeah, in a fun
Eating,
way.
drinking,
Well, and I also
creating.
think it's a space that is very welcoming. That accepts, that is very accepting and safe for everyone in the community,
Exactly.
which makes it very special.
Yes.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And sometimes, I think this is really, really special. I had an aha moment when we were putting on New Year's. We had a New Year's dance party, and basically, I ended up hosting a craft night with all my girlfriends, and we're all working together and making our outfits for this event. And then I kind of sat for a second. I was like, wow, we're doing the creative thing before the event already. So what's happening at Ix actually, it doesn't have to be on the property. It happens far before and after, which is lovely.
Yeah, you go there, but then you take that kind of spirit of Ix with you back to your homes and other places where you gather and are creative.
And people really show up and show out. When I was taking creative classes, there's 3 different types of creative expression. One of them is through what you're wearing and through makeup, dress, hair, all of it. And people really love to come to our space and dress up. So we're trying to hone that with all of our events, having them be themed and giving people that opportunity.
There's one, I think, coming, if I'm correct, there's an event tonight and tomorrow night that will probably have some people dressing up.
Is that me?
Really?
Yes.
The Star Wars.
Yes,
may the
Fourth
Fourth
be
be with
with you. That is the theme of our Sunset Market tonight. It's the first one of the season, and the market is from 5 to 8 now.
Yes, we switched the hours.
So
from 5 to 8.
everyone's invited. There's artisan vendors. There's farms and different artisans, I guess.
That
So,
come out.
yeah,
And
come out.
is that every Thursday? When can people expect the Sunset Markets?
Starting now through October.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah, through the end of October, because it's still nice out.
Yeah.
But it's great.
That would be awesome as well. It's nice to have something. Just I think people think sometimes Friday, Saturday, Sunday, there's stuff going on, but it's always nice when Thursday.
Well,
It could
so
be a
on
little something
Thursdays,
there, too.
Thursday you can make a night of it because you can come to the Sunset Market, and then the Looking Glass opens up at 7 for free to the public, and we have Arts from Underground, which includes free art making and karaoke for the community. So come on
Just
out.
have a great night all night.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's right.
Come out at 5, meet the artisans. Tonight, you'll probably, I would imagine you'll meet some people dressed up in Star Wars.
I would
Oh,
imagine.
of course. That's the dream. That's the hope.
And then just stay right on
Yep.
for the Arts from Underground and the Looking Glass. So there's so many things to do and enjoy. So it's been so much fun to have you both here. Where can people find out more about when the events are happening? What else is going on at It's about your mission? Where's the right place for people to go and find out more?
Well, everything's in one location, and it is www.ixartpark.org.
Super easy.
Easy. Yeah.
www.itsartpark.org. Fantastic. And then if you're watching live, you can do that. We're streaming live to It's Art Park on Facebook as well. So that one you can, in fact, if you go there, you can click the little link that says, just in case you forget, itsartpark.org. You can click on it right there on the Facebook page. Ewa, Maria, it's been such a pleasure having
Been
you
fun.
both
Been a
on.
lot of fun. It's going to be even
Thank
more
you so
fun
much.
at the events.
Yeah,
we're
we'll
looking-
definitely see
We
you
hope to
there.
see you there.
I'll have
Absolutely.
my eye out.
Absolutely.
Looking forward to it.
All dressed up.
There you go.
You won't even know we're there.
Right.
We'll have to peek out from behind the
mask or
the
whatever.
night helmet.
On the night helmet, yeah. That big metal one that you have?
Yeah, that big metal one. Exactly. Thanks so much for
Thank
coming
you very
out.
Thank you
Yeah,
very much.
thank you.
So that's such a blast.
Yeah.
To
Those things are a lot of fun. Like I said, I truly do remember, the Renaissance Festival.
I do.
And it was just a blast, especially you three. Of course you were young
was that
then.
the one where
but-
Nick and Michael did the fencing thing, or was that later when they were older? Where the guy taught them to fence.
Yeah, I think that was the one. Yeah.
Yeah, the fencing class.
Yeah. I was just.
I don't think I did it. I was too cowardly to
Too
do
nervous.
it. I was too
Well,
nervous.
you were older, so you really didn't. That was for little kids.
Oh, really? Oh, that's a shame. That's a shame. Now I realize that I should be a kid forever.
You should.
It's a lot more fun.
I
see you and I'm like, he's been a kid forever and he looks great. So, I'm the
perfect example of being a kid forever.
Yeah. It adds to your youthfulness or your affability. To be sure. So that was a blast. Be sure to check it out June 10th and 11th. Right here in Charlottesville at
and even tonight, tomorrow night.
And tonight as well.
And the Art Festival is the 27th,
and the Art Festival is the 27th and 28th of May.
Beautiful.
So be sure to check them out or go to itsartpark.org and you can see the whole list of events. So be sure to do that. Be sure to do that. And now from one pair of great guests to another great guest, we're really happy to welcome back to the show this morning Matthias from Matthias Realty. Matthias, how you doing this morning?
Doing well. Thank you very much for having me again.
Oh, no,
I think you've been here a few times.
But this is
the
first
time that I've had the privilege of being here with you. So
I was asking Nick earlier, how come he's not joining today, but it's you. Apparently, Nick only joins when he likes the topic of the show.
Right? I think so. That's one of
them. Well, Nick, it's always funny, right? So Nick, anytime I notice like there's normally it's just sometimes have to rotate and see who gets on. But anytime there's like opera or classical music, I'm like, so then I notice Nick's already in the schedule to host it, and I'm like, he's volunteering to host. And then I look at the desk and I'm like, this makes total sense. It was like Michael. Anytime there's someone comes on from Castle Hill or there's like food involved, and suddenly Michael's on the schedule, and I'm like,
I seem to be kicked out from all these.
He seems to have put himself there, So, but I know Xavier, you've been looking forward to being on.
Because like I said, I've never had the privilege of being here with you, and I look forward to that.
Yeah. So
likewise, thanks so much for having me.
No problem.
It's been nice. How's your spring going? Charlottesville, there's things popping up, new events and stuff. What are some things you've been enjoying here in Charlottesville?
Well, a few thoughts about the spring. Yeah. Isn't it a little bit cold for spring in Charlottesville?
Oh, yes.
I'm still wearing my vest.
February we were in the 90s, and now we're in the 40s. Well,
I'm actually ready for some warmer weather. I want to spend more time outside and in the yard. I am mowing my lawn, but I can't enjoy it. I can't sit there. It's just too cold. It's in the 40s right now.
Yeah. Well, the only good thing is that cold bottle of beer stays cold throughout the whole ride. Only you just don't drink it.
But you don't feel like drinking it. It's cold. It's, it's beautiful. They do have that season in which a lot of people are able to do bonfires and fire pits. As it stays a little chilly at night, that's a little more. It's hard to do the fire pits and those type of events when it's 80 and humid, but then you kind of want those days where you're able to just go out and enjoy the sun and the warmth. And what do you typically start to do around springtime when it warms up? What are you kind of itching to do?
I think my wife and I, we enjoy sitting outside the patio of a restaurant, for example. As I was walking downtown this morning on my way here, I did see a few folks having breakfast outside. Very courageous, I think. But that's really what spring is about, right? You come out of your warm home and you're ready to enjoy the outdoors, to see colors, vibrant flowers and plants everywhere. And so that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And sure, I'm complaining about the temperature, but I think you also feel the mentality of spring, People are excited to be outside and there's new activity. Spring is also, a busy time for people in my profession. The spring market, we call it. And let me tell you, it is busy.
It's busy.
Well, that's good. That's good.
People tend to... what do you think it is about? I've always wondered that, because the spring market, I know some certain things time, there's March 17th is match day at UVA and stuff. But is there something about that atmosphere? Do you think people just... They're like, okay, this is the time to make a change or move or see what's out there, or things look prettier? Why do you think it is that people, when people come and say, all right, Matthias, I'm calling you because it's the spring, what is sort of their sentiment?
Well, if we think about spring in general, what does it mean to all of us? And isn't it always something of a new chapter, a new start? Where I come from, we call it the spring cleaning. So when the winter is done, you clean the windows of your house, you clean your house in general, you fix up the yard for the new season.
Yep.
So I think a new season also implies for a lot of people making new decisions surrounding their lives and a house as well. So this is the busiest time for us. People tend to make more decisions about real estate in spring than, for example, in November towards the holidays.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is, if I remember well, when I was, way back when I was, thinking about real estate. But one of the issues also is like, you begin in spring because, especially when you have children, in the summer is when you can literally move, right? So if you can begin in spring, buy that home, and then boom, you got the time to move. It's not like there's school, there's so much going on. So it's just a better time to get all that done. But without any doubt, when you think about it, I mean, you drive around now in Charlottesville, and we've had an early spring because we had such warm weather before that. But everything's blooming. I mean, everybody's front yard, they got the flowers and everything. So if you want to show a house, and you walk in and you got flowers and the trees have just bloomed.
Beautiful.
Everything looks beautiful, right? I mean, even you start forgetting about, wait a minute, is that a crack on that? You don't see it. It's like, this is great. That's exactly the house that I want.
Yeah. So a blooming dogwood tree can distract from the crack in the foundation. Right?
Well, I don't know about the foundation, but as long as you don't have the inspector come back and say, wait a minute, that's a big crack down there. But the tree, look how beautiful.
The tree.
But all joking aside, you can present a house much nicer, much better, frankly, in this season. It's not as gray, it's not as cold. People, like to spend more time looking at the outside of a house as opposed to in the wintertime. Yeah. That plays a role as well.
Yeah. Well, and it's like you said, the spring, because you can walk around and do things outside, I think you can also get a good feel for what a city like Charlottesville is like. Because the spring, you have people on the patios of restaurants and you have events that go on. You can sort of see the city coming to life again, whereas in the winter you're kind of all hunkered down and so forth as you're able to go. Out of curiosity, which restaurants do you really love, especially to sit on the patio?
Well, in the downtown mall?
Downtown or anywhere. I mean, do we do a couple places in general? Yeah.
Well, I want to say one of our favorite spots in town is Vitale, because they have a really nice outdoor space where you can eat. It's actually heated as well, but it just, it extends the restaurant to the outside. And we like the cuisine, we like the atmosphere there a lot. But I mean, our downtown mall is unbeatable. You have so many great restaurants with an outdoor patio, even though some of the trees are gone now.
That's true.
That might heat it up a little bit more. No, I think we are fortunate to live in a place where we have, well, first of all, so many restaurants, and then we have the downtown mall where really the vibrant life is happening. And that goes back to your question about what do you enjoy about spring. That is what I enjoy about spring. So looking forward to spending a lot of time outside.
Yeah, and it's true. That's the one thing, it's a little bit, in Europe, for example, we enjoy part of the European lifestyle is the fact that, especially in the summer, everybody's out because all the cafes, all the restaurants seem to have areas where you can eat outdoors, right? They have the plazas, etc., the Ramblas, right? And that's the thing about the downtown that, it can feel that way, especially, beginning in spring, in the summer, where you walk there on a Thursday night, Friday night, there's people walking up and down. So and like you said, there's just lots of restaurants. So that's the one thing about the city is that it also gives you that nice, warm and cozy feeling that you can have by going downtown, walking around, enjoying, the outdoors. And, a better time than spring and summer. Some days can be a little heated.
A little heated. Yeah. It's beautiful. Is that one of the things that drew you to? I'm curious what kind of drew to you come from Europe originally, from Germany. What kind of drew you to Charlottesville? Like said, this is the beauty of this. What sort of said, this is the place where I kind of want to come and be?
Well, in all fairness, I didn't make that decision, actually.
Oh,
because my wife is from here. I did not choose Charlottesville when I moved to the U.S. And a lot of people ask me that question, and then the follow-up question usually is, "Oh, do you work at UVA?" And then my response is a little bit more, personal, because it was actually a woman that brought me here. But I couldn't be happier with the decision to actually settle down here and start a family and make Charlottesville my home, frankly. And that's, I'm in my 10th year in Charlottesville now.
Wow.
Moved here in 2014.
And have you been in real estate those 10 years? Or when did you get into that field?
No. I used to work in real estate in Central America for a while.
Oh. Where?
On the coast in Nicaragua.
Oh,
I used to
Nicaragua.
live in Nicaragua for a few years. So that was my first experience with real estate.
Okay.
And in Charlottesville, I actually worked for Crutchfield for a number of years. Not related to real estate at all. And actually my academic background is not real estate either. It's public policy and governance. That's what I went to school for. Yet here I am enjoying
I think it's one of the
job in real
beauties
estate.
of this country, but also I think of fields like real estate and like finance. Not everyone has to come from a background of like, yes, I studied this for 20 years and now I do the exact same thing that I always studied. I mean, you can be, sometimes it gives you kind of that element of looking at something with a fresh viewpoint. Like, in other words, you weren't taught, like, this is how real estate is done and this is how it's always been done from 10 years of classes. You know, you could come in and say, well, why, you don't have to do it that way. I'm coming from a different background, different experiences that you can bring to it.
I think I'm glad I went to school back in Germany, that I have my master in public policy. I'm glad for the experience, not so much for the title. I don't need it, as you just said, for my job right now. But it's about experience and skills that we develop along the way. And the skill that I use the most these days, I want to say, is the interhuman skill, really about communication. Did I learn that necessarily when I went to school or to university in Germany? Maybe secondary, but as you said, you don't need to stay in that one field forever. I think the landscape has changed. My parents, or the generation of my parents, they stayed in the same job for 30, 40 years. Possibly even for the same employer, and we see this less these days. Yeah. It's a globalized world, and people move more often, and frankly, they have more opportunities to choose from as well.
Yeah, and I think the ability, right, to become an entrepreneur, I think in this country is probably a little greater than in the other countries. Because, you look at all our family, nobody really is an entrepreneur, right? No. But yet here...
before they came, historically before
yes,
coming to America, they really weren't entrepreneurs.
But here, it's exactly that. Sometimes you study something, but then you get out to the real world, and before you know it, now you're exposed to a whole bunch of different, opportunities. And before you know it, you start learning to say, wait a minute, that you gravitate to something that maybe you say, hey, I'd like to try that. That seems, that seems like something I want to do. But I agree with Matthias. One of the things is, people skills, I think is something that grows over time. Because I have I had a lot less people skills when I went, my first job. It's like, if they say, we got to meet a client, I said, oh, no, please, no. And I have to meet them. I really don't want to meet that client, right? But now it's like, it's my favorite part is meeting people, right? But it grows over time. You get more comfortable and you realize, especially in your field, right? You need to connect, right, with the person. And once you connect with that person, then they have that confidence in you and saying, Matthias will do the right job for me and find that home that I'm looking for,
Right. The personal connection is very important. At the end of the day, it's about trust, right? And being relatable. And that is one of the beauties of our job. We deal with personalities, and people can decide whether personalities align. Do I choose this realtor or this agent as opposed to that broker over there? And frankly, we have the choice here. In our association, we have over 1,000 realtors.
Wow.
So there is one realtor for each personality type, I want to say. And, so people can really choose. But you're right. It's really about people skills.
Yeah.
Yeah. How just having the background from Germany and then having worked in Nicaragua for that, do you get like German Nicaraguan clients here that'll be like, oh yeah, I can connect with you. I know what it was like in Nicaragua, or I was from Germany as well, or.
Yeah, you would think that all the Germans are standing in line to work with me. Turns out there are not too many here in Charlottesville. There is a small German community here in Central Virginia, and we actually have our monthly gatherings, and there's a little bit of a community, as I said. We have a few restaurants as well, but it's a small number. The bigger number obviously are Spanish-speaking clients, and it's certainly helpful that I speak Spanish, and I have clients, not so much European Spanish-speaking people, but Central American, Mexicans a lot, and as we know, not everyone is fluent in English, and furthermore, not everyone is comfortable reading a contract in English if it's not your first language.
That's
and
important.
so it certainly helps to speak or to be multilingual in this regard. I advertise this about myself, but then again, not too many German people are needing my services.
Do you have a favorite German place?
Restaurant?
Yeah.
I was going to go there too. I was going to see if you picked the same one.
Well, we have Bavarian Chef that's north of Ruckersville.
Right.
I think between Madison and Ruckersville.
Yes.
And they do have relatively authentic Bavarian cuisine. What I like even better is their food truck. Have you ever tried the Bavarian Chef food truck?
No. Is it from the same people or?
The same people, yeah.
Oh.
And it drives around, it tours around here in Charlottesville as well. And they have some amazing German street food. So it's savory. You know, it's the emphasis is always on the sausage somehow.
Nothing wrong with that.
I'm not going to complain about that.
And then there's another German restaurant in Stanton or outside of Stanton called Edelweiss. And they have Bavarian food as well.
Oh, that one I have never been to.
No, I've never been to that. Yeah, we've been to the Bavarian Chef a few times because we enjoyed. Never had it from the food truck, but Stanton, we gotta
check that out.
Was that good too?
It's very good actually.
Okay.
And
I'm sure they have sausages.
And it's up in the mountains, so it somehow resembles a little bit of Bavaria. In terms of the landscape.
Yeah.
Well, it's a far stretch, but
we'll use our imagination.
Well, it's green. It's green like Bavaria, green. Which is also very green and
we'll have to go
and
there.
lush.
Yeah, absolutely.
There, I know that's fantastic. Yeah, just to be able to see those things. And
this is interesting because here we're discussing Charlottesville, the surrounding areas, right? And that's one of the beautiful things I think about this area is that you don't have to just think of Charlottesville. You got Madison, right? You got Greene County. You got Stanton. You got Harrisonburg. You can expand a little bit that whole area, and obviously housing is different depending where you are. Like where was I yesterday? So yesterday in Standardsville, right? So I went to visit a client, and first time ever. And I drove by, and it's like, this was like such a beautiful neighborhood. I said, I didn't even know it existed. I think of Standardsville as like, man, that's out in the country. Who knows where they are? There's probably like, 40 acres of, no, there was like houses one after another. Very pretty. So this whole area is a stunning place, I think, to live because you can be by the mountains, right? No matter where you are, you have mountain views. You're close to the ocean, right? A few hours away. by rivers. So if you like rafting, for example, you're not too far away from river rafting, right? So there's just so much to do in this area that I think it's a very attractive place for people to come and live here, and you don't have all the kind of the traffic and congestion of the big cities, right? Because I remember in the cities when we used to live there, it's like if you wanted to go to the beach or to the country, you kept saying, with traffic, that's a 2 to 3 hour ordeal or on a Sunday, right? And then, usually you may get there in an hour or two, but coming back home, like you're already tired from playing or whatever, now like you're stuck in traffic for 3 hours. You don't have that here, right? Yeah. And you have the beauty of, like I said, the mountains, the rivers, and the places to live. It's got to be a great place to, and I'm sure real estate is showing that in the sense that, maybe demand is still higher than supply. My suspicion is here.
It's true. Let's think about it. You can have breakfast on the downtown mall, and in 25 minutes driving, you are on the Blue Ridge Parkway.
Yeah.
You can access the Appalachian Trail.
Exactly.
It's very close by. And as you said, 3 hours, I think, to Virginia Beach.
Yep. Yeah.
So we have a good spot here, yeah?
It is a nice spot. Well, I think it's kind of why, we're constantly ranked in like number 22, number 20 on like top 100 places to live. Just it's that combination, I think, of things that we're kind of in the middle of a lot of beautiful things that you can do without actually being a big hot spot where there's tons of cars and tons of people. And we're still somewhere between 40, 60,000 in population, which is not. It's not a big city.
What we've said, so between the University of Virginia, right? So if you like sports, they've got the baseball team, the basketball team, the football team. They have the symphony. You got the opera, right? So you got Guys and Dolls, you got Tosca. So if you're an opera fan, you have a place to go. They have the mass. What is it? Tomorrow night. The choral mass. So there's music, there's arts. So everything that you find in a big city, you have here. Maybe the quality isn't exactly the same, but the enjoyment, exactly, it's very close. Yeah, and the enjoyment is so much better because, like I said, you're not taking the subway or having to drive into the city or whatever it may be. It's like that takes away from the fun because by the time you finish, it's like, oh, I gotta drive home now.
Right. So Charlottesville combines so many aspects that we enjoy about big city life in terms of cultural offerings, for example, but without the downsides. You mentioned traffic congestion, and we all complain a lot about traffic in Charlottesville.
That's right.
But do you want to compare it to Washington D.C. and the traffic there? Yeah. No, I think it's in a way it has this small town feel. But because of the university, because of the big employers here, you really have great city amenities.
Yes.
You mentioned the opera, an opera in Charlottesville. I think we are.
What other city of 45 to 50,000
exactly.
has an opera that you can go see? And last year the Opera Point was outside at the Pavilion on the downtown mall. They had a performance there. So there's things. You can even enjoy the combination of the weather with a performance or an event of some kind.
Yeah, and you mentioned Charlottesville is ranked 22nd in the list of best places to live.
Yep, out of hundreds.
Out of hundreds, yes. And sure, we can look at statistics, but I could tell you stories about clients that I have that are from California, from Florida, from New York State, that are wanting to move here. And sometimes it's because they have relatives here, but other times they have no contacts here, and they chose the area, they chose Charlottesville because it fulfilled so many of the criteria they are looking for, either because they want to retire or because they want to move here with their family. School system, proximity to the mountains, proximity to DC. We have an airport here. We have the train driving through. We have
that's a good point.
A very nice downtown mall. So many things. That list goes on about Charlottesville.
No, it does. It does. Yeah,
it really does. Yeah. Would you that, and is that typically what you see that when that happens? What would you say that when people reach out from you and they're not from here? Do they already know a lot about it? Do you kind of help them learn, like, here are some of the other amenities and things in Charlottesville that you might not know about?
No, I think Charlottesville is very vocal about its qualities. Mm-hmm. And in this era of internet, people do their research before moving here. Everyone knows pretty much what to expect. Mm-hmm. And so my job is not so much telling them about the quality of Charlottesville, because they already made the decision to come here. Mm-hmm. I don't have to convince them anymore.
Yeah,
right. So that makes it even more pleasant, actually. They know why they want to move here, and then my job is really to compare the neighborhoods a little bit for them, compare a more rural setting and compare it to city life. Not everyone wants to live in Belmont. Someone prefers Forest Lakes, where it's a little bit more quiet, for example. So this is more what I'm dealing with, but people already know about Charlottesville, or let's say Central Virginia. A lot of people enjoy having access to downtown Charlottesville, but they actually want to live in Nelson County, for example.
Are you seeing more of that out of curiosity? More people kind of wanting to not like wanting to be in the Central Virginia area, but kind of wanting to actually have their home a little further out, so they're kind of closer to nature, a little more rural, and then they'll come into the city?
Yeah, we saw this a lot during the pandemic, and that was nationwide, where people wanted to move outside of big cities. We heard this in the media about New York City, for example, moving into the country. And Charlottesville was back then, too, so popular because in 20 minutes you can be in Charlottesville, even though you might be living in Greene County or in Nelson or Albemarle, for that matter. And sure, people are still looking for those 2 to 5 acres within 20-25 minutes driving distance to Charlottesville. We hear it every day. Everyone seems to be looking for it. Exactly
that like sweet spot. It's the perfect, it's ideal. Just like you said, it's 20 minutes of an easy drive. It's not 20 minutes of bumper to bumper because you're going a mile. I mean, it's 20 miles in 20 minutes, essentially. You could be 20 miles out and still get here in a very reasonable amount of time. And we see it on the reverse end because we live a little bit closer to town.
Well, and that's what I always tell people. I mean, in 10 minutes, I'm in basically downtown, right? Yeah. Charlottesville, right? Whether it be the university, in the area of that university, or downtown here, right? And in 10 minutes, I'm in the country. I mean, because where we live, the fact that there's 2 acres, so a guy that came from New York City, where the next house you could go like this and basically touch it, right? 2 acres is the country. I mean, it's like, where's the neighbor again? Oh yeah. So, you feel like you're in the country. You don't really have to like drive another hour to. No.
Yeah, being from Germany, I grew up in cities like Munich and Berlin. For you, it was New York City.
Exactly.
I think we all really enjoy being in Charlottesville, where we have this smaller city, with city amenities. But as you said, you could live in the country and still be down the downtown mall in 10 minutes. Yeah. That's
what I say. So, I mean, the decision to say, do you want to go out tonight? It's not like,
do I want to drive?
I want to drive. It's like, sure, where is it? No problem. Because you're 10, 15, 20 minutes away from wherever you're going. And that's, and it's not traffic, it's just distance.
And the downtown mall side is the one place that you go, you park in the garage. You don't have to know in advance, I'm going to eat at this restaurant.
Yeah.
You could park at the downtown mall and then figure it out. There's so many.
There's so many.
You can figure it out as you're walking up and down. Yeah. Which restaurant you feel like eating at that night. Just the variety is...
I don't know if it still applies, but at some point they listed Charlottesville as the highest restaurant rate per capita Still might be the case.
I think
or
so.
at least it's very high. Number 5.
We fell to 5. No, it's just and you can see it. And also what I love is the variety of different types of food. Mm-hmm. Like it's not a bunch of American food restaurants.
No, that's right.
Like you've got, Cuban, you've got Salvadorian, Mexican, German, Italian, Turkish.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's just so much variety.
Italian.
It's funny that you like Italian because when we visited Austria once, and Austria right next to Germany, right? But they would all tell us there that apparently they all love Italian food in Germany and Austria the same way that Americans love Mexican food. Like it's the south of the border thing. So like they would all say, yeah, the south of the border is Italy, because when you're in Germany, the south of Germany is Italy, right? So they'd be like, that region, and it would be like, oh yeah, that's our Tex-Mex is Italian food from there.
Well, but also you have a high population that was born in Mexico here in the U.S. Mm-hmm. And in Germany we have, I think the biggest minority are Turks, and second largest are Italians. And that has to do with after the Second World War we invited other countries or families to move to Germany. We supplied them with a visa and invited them to stay with their families to help us rebuild the country. And so we have this huge Italian population in Germany, and that has an impact on our preferences. And there is something to be said about the Mediterranean lifestyle as well.
Absolutely.
You spoke about it earlier. The sense of family and community outside, the gathering to food and drink wine and just enjoy community. And there's a big draw to that. Especially in southern Germany, you have a large Mediterranean, let's say, Italian influence
there. Yeah,
no, over there, without any doubt, and when you think of, the Mediterranean area, it's the food, right? And when we used to go visit, the dinners, which is in the afternoon from 2 to 4, was you sat at the table basically. You just ate and you kept, and then at 10 o'clock you sat down again and you just ate for so like you went to bed at midnight at 1 o'clock in the morning because you eat and you talk, and it's a long process. It's not like quickly boom boom done. Let's get the dishes done. No, it's an event, right? It's where you gather to discuss life, to just have fun, and to enjoy the food and the drink.
And let's look at the U.S. and Mexicans, for example. Today is Cinco de Mayo, right? That's a reason why in America here we celebrate Cinco de Mayo too. And sometimes I wonder if, us in Germany, we need Italians to remind us to enjoy life a little bit, and maybe that is what Central Americans do to Americans.
Yes.
Remind us it's not all about work.
Exactly.
And the hustle. It's also about family and enjoying
absolutely.
life.
I think Mexicans do that for us here, and really the Latin Americans bring that out here. Remind us, it's like they work as hard as anyone. We talked about Latinos. They work hard, but then family is just so important for the Latino community, and it kind of reminds us of that getting together and being together. I think some of the we celebrate Cinco de Mayo here more than in Mexico, because they have an actual Independence Day.
That's right. Yeah.
That we don't celebrate.
That's right.
We do the Cinco de Mayo.
I think Cinco de Mayo here is being celebrated in Mexican restaurants, right?
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Supersized margaritas and nacho chips.
There you are.
All the great food, and we got some good Mexican restaurants.
Yeah,
here.
we do.
We are lucky with the quality of the restaurants here. Lonnie Murray comments, Edelweiss restaurant is amazing. She agrees with you. And John Blair watching the show this morning. Matthias, man, the time just flies.
No, it really does.
I love having these just conversations, just having you in to just chat and talk and see what's up and what's new. So it's been so much fun.
I have an idea. I might come back.
Let's do that. Let's do that.
Let's do that and talk.
Let's do that. We'll just make this our monthly. What do we call it? Like monthly.
What do we enjoy about Charlottesville?
There we go. What do we enjoy about Charlottesville with Matthias?
I don't mind. I wouldn't mind talking about this on a monthly basis.
It's the same here. Same here. Let's do it. We're going to do it. Just keep having you back and just have our. We'll be looking forward to it. He's done it right himself on the schedule every time.
Absolutely.
When's Matthias coming on? I'm going to write myself to.
Yeah, I love
to
this.
be part of that. This has been a blast.
Thanks
so much for coming on this morning.
I just realized that we literally have I Love CVille written behind us. So
there we go.
it's not that
we
far
love
of a
CVille,
stretch to talk about it.
No,
absolutely. Why not talk about why we love it and the things we love about it?
Exactly.
It's been so much fun. As always, best place for people to reach out to you?
Well, I'm a little bit of an old soul. My social media is not yet where I would like for it to be, but
I know the feeling.
Sure, I'm on Facebook and LinkedIn most of all, and I think sometimes you see a picture popping up.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
So just type that in and you'll find it.
Yeah. If I can assist you with your home search or selling a home, it's Matthias John.
Super easy. Matthias.
Absolutely.
Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
We look forward to our next one.
It was nice to be here.
It's been a lot of fun.
Awesome.
It's been good.
Awesome. Today was great.
Yeah. No,
loved every minute.
Listen, it's you brought somebody from X Park that talks about the events, right? And then we talk about Charlottesville and the whole area. Everything, like I said, there's something for everyone here, right?
Exactly.
I mean, I was even thinking of the, guys and dolls in Tosca, right? I mean, if you are for me, Tosca is
the
hardcore opera. So that's what I like, right? But if you're like, don't know, it's like opera. This Guys and Dolls is a perfect way to get into learn more about something in the opera fashion, right? And something that most likely most people will enjoy. So, there's something for everyone here, and that's the beauty.
Absolutely, that's what we love about it. And it's so fun to have Matthias on. We learned something. I didn't know about Edelweiss restaurant. We have to check that out.
No, absolutely, we have to. Yeah.
Now we know.
In the Bavarian Alps of Stanton.
Up in the Bavarian Alps of Stanton. So it's good. I'm glad we're going to have him back on a monthly basis.
Absolutely.
To talk with him.
Yeah.
To be sure. Next week, got some great people coming on. Sherry Brown, the owner of Essentially Zen, coming on, as well as some reps from Merrill Vineyards and Feast, now under common ownership. So they do some synergies there and some fun things together. And as well as our friends from Castle Cider will be joining us.
That'll be a lot of
next
fun.
week. So we'll see if Michael writes himself into the.
I'm sure he will already.
Into the calendar.
Once he sees who's here,
exactly.
Vineyard, Castle Hill, he's like,
I'm in.
Kick that guy out.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Kick Xavier out. I'm in. As always, love being here.
Same here.
With you. It's always a blast. Judah making us all look good behind the camera.
Thank goodness.
Thank goodness for him. He really does the work on it, Xavier and I, make sure that we're in proper positioning.
I'm getting better, I think.
You didn't hit it today. I hit it today, actually.
I don't know. I think I hit it once. But
once.
I think that was before
a minor demerit.
Yeah.
A minor demerit. Yeah. So it's always a blast. Of course, love our great partners, Matthias John, of course, Craddock Serious Insurance, Charlottesville Opera, Castle Hill Cider, Forward Adelante, Emergent Financial Services, our presenter. Love being here on the I Love CVille Network set. Thanks to everyone for the great comments.
Absolutely.
Today, Lonnie Murray, Jess Walter Civitsari commenting. Be sure to check out Painted Orange in orange. Not hard to find. And just all the great people that commented and liked the show this morning. Look forward to seeing all of you next week. Of course, be sure to send us any people you want us to talk to, any local business owners, entrepreneurs. Send them our way. We love having them and featuring them on the show. Just love Charlottesville and our surrounding area and want to continue supporting it. We look forward to seeing you all next week. I'll see you hopefully, and if not next week, then in a little while, I'll host with you again. But thanks for being here with me today.
It's been always
Thank
a pleasure.
you all for joining us. And until next week, as we'd like to close it out on the show, hasta mañana. Great job.